Friends, we're getting all sorts of echoes and all sorts of... You know what's going on there, Mikey? Any idea? There we go, my laptop. Yeah, it is. It's been a little while since we've done this. Welcome, folks. Eric Andres here, Guitar Sage here. It's September the 22nd, and we're doing a live video. If you can't tell, it's live. I'm not giving this away yet. Nope, that's happening this weekend. I'm going to be giving this bad boy away. Going to be giving this bad boy away. I got an acoustic guitar laying around here somewhere. That's going to go away. Over $3,500 worth of amazing goodies that we're going to be giving away this weekend, along with that giant live broadcast where I'm going to be teaching you all my badass guitar hacks, how to hack the neck, how to know where you're at all times. We're going to be talking about one of them today, okay? And you've got to, if there's one live broadcast that you ever attend for guitar, it needs to be this one. I'm not joking, because what I'm doing is I'm just handpicking the best bits that over the decades, I think it's behind the set. It doesn't matter, Mike. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, we're getting it. So these are just the badass ones that I'm picking that literally will get you to understand the neck without knowing a bunch, honestly, without knowing a bunch of theory. You know me, I'm not afraid of theory. I'll teach theory all day long. I love it. But I understand that some of you don't have the patience for it, or you just don't want to do it. That's fine. You get what you get out of life. You don't want to go to the gym, and you get what you get. But no, for real, what I'm going to be showing you, though, is going to, like, hyperspace you into understanding the neck without having to understand all the little intricacy stuff, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing on Saturday, this Saturday, the 26th at 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., okay? 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can sign up for this. I say you can. You got to sign up for it. You're not entered into the contest. You can't win anything unless you're signed up. You can't join the live broadcast and get all the good stuff. I mean, you could join the live broadcast and not sign up at all. That's fine. But you're not entered in to win. You're not going to get the PDF. You're not going to get the slew of bonus videos that I made specifically for you for this event that you can get right now. Go to yourguitarsage.com/dot. Right there. There it is. Look at that, magically. Mike's so good. You're so good, Mike. I love you, Mike. You're a good guy. He's a good guy. All right, so everybody good, right? Oh, Jeff, thanks, buddy. Keep up the great work. Thank you for supporting vets. Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much for that kind donation. All right, so let's talk about this very first hack that I'm going to show you is the only hack I'm going to show you today, and then we're going to get straight to questions. What's up, James? Then we're going to get straight to questions because that's what the name of the game is here, and I'm going to show you all those amazing hacks on Saturday, okay? So knowing where your 1, 4, 5, knowing where those intervals are at any time, instant notice, will make you a much better player. Show of hands. Here's what I want you to do. If you can name the 1, 4, 5 at any point, at any place, on any of the strings, in any key, instantaneously, then say yes. If you cannot, which most of you probably cannot, and that's fine. If you cannot, say no. Because I'd love to get a little I'd love to get a little count here. And the reason being is this. Sometimes I teach this stuff over and over and over again. And the reason I do it, number one, is because it's absolutely so important. And two, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people don't know it. It goes over their head, or they miss it, or they I don't know what. They're not paying attention. I don't know. They're bewildered by my fancy hair. I don't know. Okay, so we have a yes and we have a no. Everybody else is like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Okay, no. We've got a lot more no's coming up, and I appreciate your honesty. I really do. So thank you. Okay, lots of no's, lots of no's, lots of no's. Okay, good news is I'm going to show you right now. Friend, I can promise you what I'm about to show you right now is the number one thing it's the easiest thing to do, and it's the most it's the most powerful thing to know. Done. That's done with that statement. It's the easiest thing to do, and it's definitely the hair, Zach is saying. And it's definitely the most important thing. Here's why. Let me tell you first why this is important, and I've got to qualify it, because if you don't understand how important it is, you ain't going to listen again. Because I know some of you, because I know the names up here, I know some of you, I've shown this to you before, and you're saying no. That's okay. I'll tell you as many times as we need to do. Nein. Kevin says nein, meaning no, in German. I know that one. So I know some of you have seen this before. Here's why this is so important. Check it out. You want to know the top 3 chords that have ever been played in the history of ever? It's the 1 chord, it's the 4 chord, and it's the 5 chord. Bar none, in the history of ever, all genres, all guitar players, all musicians, I don't care who you are, I don't care what country you're from, I don't care what century you're in. The 1 and 4 and 5 are the most used chords of all time. Drop the mic, it's done. Okay, understand that. What are the 3 most used notes of all times? You guessed it, the 1, the 4, and the 5. So, how important would it be to be able to grab the 1, 4, 5 at all moments? Yeah, you got it. It would be very important. The chord progression I just played just now, that little blues chord progression, it's a 1, 4, 5. Okay? So is this one. Right? Or any song that sounds like that. Blues. That's all 1, 4, 5, bro. All 1, 4, 5. So you gotta know it. Okay? Qualified? Feel good? Here we go. Now here's the deal. Now you can find, it doesn't matter what the 1 is for you. It could be whatever it is, but understand that that's the tonal center. And when we're talking about the 1, 4, 5, we're talking about the 1, 4, and 5. I love you. It's the 1, 4, 5 out of the major scale, out of the 7 notes out of the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. The only thing we're doing is we're taking the 1, we're identifying it, we're identifying the 4, and we're identifying the 5. Because knowing those 3 notes will give you access to the 3 chords that you need at all times, and it will also make, watch this, if we have the 1, if here's the 1, we're only 1 scale step away from the 7, and 1 scale step away from the 2. Okay? If we're on the 4, we're only 1 scale step away from the 3. If we're on the 5, we're only 1 scale step away from the 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We started off with that 7. So, why is that important? Because again, if you know where the 1, 4, 5 is at all times, then you literally will be able to be 1 scale step away from all the other notes. This is so important if you don't want to get lost. It's kind of like if you're looking at this giant map, okay, maybe of the state, and you're like, this is really confusing. Cool, but really, if I'm in Nashville, which I am, I'm actually in Franklin, Tennessee, if I got this giant map of the state, I don't need a giant map of the state. It may be fine to have that, but what do? You drill down, pinch down, go down, and there I am. okay? You drill down. Because really you just need what's surrounding you. You don't need to know what's happening in McMinnville or Nashville, right? You don't need to know about that stuff. Just where you at right now. By the way, massive life lesson right there. Okay, you can only be in one place at a time. So if you're there, you're there. Be present in that moment. And my God, the amount of power that's in that statement, whether you're playing guitar or you're playing with your kid or you're with your wife or your husband or you're doing whatever, then there's so much power in that. So the 1-4-5 is basically just the stuff that you need, and then you can move out from there, okay? So let's talk about this. Now listen, here's the lesson. Everybody pay attention, because here we go. I saw a ton of no's. I see some people putting in the chords. Cool. Excellent. Right? I see a lot of people doing that, and so some of you got it. Good. Some of you got it, some of you don't. Most people do not have it, so here we go. Listen, here's the lesson right now. Super easy. I'm going to do it several times with you. Whatever the one is, it doesn't matter. This is what I'm saying. You don't necessarily need theory. I mean, this is theory in a way, but you could just not call it theory and just say, I know where to put my fingers. If we play this note, you don't actually have to know what that note is to play in a band, or any note here. It's helpful though. But if the band says, hey, we're in this key, and you can hear it, then you're like, okay, I'm in that key. I know what to do. Here's my 1, here's my 4, here's my 5. Let me show you how this works. Here's our scale. If you don't know this major scale, friends, that means you haven't gotten into the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard, and that will help you immensely, okay? I'll tell you about that later. So here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when we're on a 1, the 4 is directly underneath it. Here's the 1, 6th string. Here's the 4, 5th string. This works for several of the strings. So if we went from, let's say we were doing an A there. Let's do an A here. Here's an A. If I wanted to do a 1-4-5 here, here's my 1, here's my 4. Directly right underneath it. Here's my 5th string, here's my 4th string. And then my 5 is a whole step up from that. I could do that starting from the 4th string. Here's the 1. I'm going to go down 1 string, 4th string. This is an A. Going down 1 string. There's my 4, and here's my 5. Okay? So the 4 is always directly right underneath the 1, and then the 5's above it. Unless you're going from the G to the B string, because here's why. Tuned in fourths, tuned in fourths, tuned in fourths, tuned in a major third, and then back up to tuned to fourths. Okay, so this right here is a major third. So that means that it's not going to line up for this one. So if we're on the 3rd string here, let's do an A there as well. Okay, so here's a 3rd. Okay, since this string is tuned down a half step, you don't have to know why that is, but this note, the 4, is not directly underneath it. Now it's a half step up. Okay, but the 5th is a whole step up from that one. So instead of it being directly under it for when you're going from the 3rd to the 2nd string, just remember it's a half step up. There's our 4. Here's our 5. Okay. Now, if we're going to here's an A again. If we're going from the 2nd string to the 1st string, then we're back to normal again. Here's our 1. Here's our 4. Here's our 5. Now, why is that important? Well, watch. If I play this fun little, very simple 12-bar blues chord progression, it starts on the 1. There's a 1 chord, a 4 chord, and a 5 chord. So if I noodle around with these notes and I tease the chord that's being played with the actual note, it sounds pretty darn good. Check this out. Take that back. I'm going to go. There was my A. Sorry, I told you this was an A. That's not an A. I need to go back to guitar school. Here's my A, right? So there it is, 1, 4, 5. It's the same setup though. Again, it doesn't matter. I was just in a different key. I was in the key of G instead of the key of A. I was doing a lot of key of G this morning, which is probably why it's in my brain. So here we go. So here's an A. Okay, so here's our 1, right? Here's our 4, here's our 5. Now watch, when I play this chord progression, here's my 5. So here's my 1, here's my 4, here's my 5. Here's my 5, my 4. Here's my 5 coming up right here. My 4, my 1. It's literally that easy. This isn't rocket science. Here's my 5, 4. I could do this from anywhere, you know. Four. Back to the 1. 5. 4. 1. If you get used to playing like that to where you literally are just hanging out with that 1, 4, and 5, then you bring in the good stuff, right? Then you can bring in all the fancy licks. What people try to do is they try to jump straight to fancy licks. I'm different than Hendrix. I'm different than Eddie Van Halen and Joe Pass and everybody. I was born very special, so I get to just jump over all the hard stuff. That's not hard. Is that hard? I get to forget all the rules, and I get to just emote on the guitar. No, you don't. That's never happened since ever. There's no guitar player has ever done that. So what I'm telling you to do is learn the basic stuff first. Just like a child learns little things like, I got to go potty, my tummy hurts, my head hurts, etc., etc. It gets them by for several years. They don't have to know what frickin' onomatopoeia means. They don't have to know it. I don't know what it means, okay? I do. I know what it means. But isn't that word a word like smack? I think that's what it means, onomatopoeia. It means the word sounds like what it does. Anyhow, I digress. So you got to understand these little bits that I'm showing you. That 1, 4, 5 is super powerful. Okay, know where that's at. Now, here's the deal. You may have noticed, but I've been dropping these jam tracks every single weekend, 2 every single weekend for you guys, with the chords right there on the screen. What I try to do on most of these is I really try to keep them around 1, 4, 5 in some fashion or another. Whether it's reggae, whether it's jazz, blues, rock, whatever, I try to, there's even some worship stuff in there, some swing, gypsy jazz. I really try to keep them around 1, 4, 5. And also, that's the way music works. The 1, 4, 5, and the minor 6. Those are the 4 most used chords. Minor 6 is the next one, okay? And I try to really create those jam tracks around what you guys are needing and naturally what music is, okay? So check those out. They're there for you so that you can work on this stuff. If you're not using them and you're watching this video right now, you're not taking advantage of all the things I'm giving you. And I want you to, okay? Thank you so much, OG Turtle. And by the way, we had a real nice donation there from Brent Boardman. Brent's always doing this. Thank you, Brent. So kind. Slap my forehead and call me Sally. Perfect fourths, as in tuning. Exactly. You got it. Nice, Brent. Isn't it nice when the light bulb goes on and you're like, oh my God, right? Eric's saying, so simple yet not obvious. Exactly. That's why, friends, I've been playing guitar for a long time, and I'll be looking at the neck, and all of a sudden I'll go, are you kidding me? How did I forget that? How in heaven's name, or how did I not see that, you know? And I love those moments because it's like I knew it, but I didn't observe it, right? You ever do that where you have seen things walked past someplace or drove past something a million times, and then one day you notice, oh wow, there's blank there. You know, you've just noticed it. Now you notice it. Now you can't unnotice it. So that's why we do these bits, right? Because they're very, very helpful. So good. Love that you guys love that stuff, right? Okay, good. All right. Now, more, if that excites you, just wait. Just flippin' wait, friends, for Saturday, okay? Not only $3,500 worth of giveaways, 4 hours of content, so 1 hour of lessons, 3 hours where I'm literally taking your questions in real time. So any questions that you want to ask me, be it guitar, metaphysical, or otherwise, I will answer to the best of my abilities, okay? YourGuitarSage.com/dot, D-O-T. The link for that's below, and you'll probably drop it in here as well, okay? The light is on, yet the room remains dark. All right. All right, good. Oh, I mentioned the free course for you guys. This is, look, I know most of you know about it, but this is for folks who are new, because I get new folks all the time, and it's so important that you understand that I'm giving you a course, the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard. We've had 500,000 people go through this. It's absolutely changed their guitar lives. It will change yours as well, and it's free. It's the same course that I charge way over $1,000 for, way over $1,000. I always say $1,000. It would cost way more than $1,000 for me to sit with you and teach you that course. But I do it for folks, and I've done it for years. Otherwise, it's free for you. There's a link below, YourGuitarSage.com/30. Okay, there you go. And if you're watching this on mobile and you want me to get you set up, but you don't want to go through the routine on mobile, I know mobile's a pain in the butt, text me. This number right here, just text FREE, 833-744-0154. Text FREE, I'll set you up, okay? Excellent. Okay, thank you so much. Em just put those up there. All right, let's get to some questions, friends. Yeah, this is the guy that's going away. And also, oh, God, so much to tell you guys. Should I show them shirts and stuff? God, there's so much. Okay, so
your other guitar's right there.
My other guitar's right here. I'm going to go off camera. I know it's unprofessional. I don't give a crap. It's my damn show. I get to do whatever I want. Right, check this out. This is an Epiphone. It's a PR150. This is going to go away, too, to a lucky winner. There's so many things happening right now, friends. This right here. Now, this is the prototype because the other one's plugged in right now. But this right here is the Dueling Ninja. You guys have been waiting on this a long time. I know. It's been a long time in the works because I think we had like 7 iterations of this thing. Somewhere around 7 iterations. And so we wanted to get it perfect. I wanted to get it totally right. And I've been messing with them. I'm going through them. We have our first batch of 25. Do you want a pedal? Do you want this pedal? Let me tell you, I'll just give you a little quick what it does. But essentially, it's minimum 3 pedals in one. It has some characteristics of a tube screamer, that classic sound that you would hear, oh my God, a million players, but Stevie Ray Vaughan, but a million players have used it. Everybody has a tube screamer. You got to have a tube screamer, okay? And then an OCD, it's kind of esque, okay? This is obviously our own pedal, but I like the sounds of those. And so, you know, when you build a guitar, when you build a pedal, you have an idea of what you want, but you want to tweak it. And there are things that I don't like about those 2 pedals. So we took what we liked and we left what we didn't like, and we changed some things, and we combined it all in one pedal. And so essentially you've got a tube screamer-esque side. It's more for like single coils, mid-range boost, that sort of thing. And then we have kind of a plexi side, a Marshall feel type side. Heavier, okay? So that's number 1. Also has, you know, classic and modern sound for the screamer side, and a high-low for the more overdriven, I'm calling it OCD, but only because I don't have another word for it. So there's that, okay? Now, what makes it even cooler is that you can cascade them. So if you lean into the pedal, meaning you hold the pedal down, it goes into a whole nother mode. And that mode turns on both of these pedals for, there's two really big sounds that you can get from that particular mode. Altogether, you're getting like 5 or 6 different sounds from this thing that are very distinct sounds. One of them sounds like a fuzz. If you cascade them and you turn your tone back, it sounds much like a fuzz pedal. Otherwise, it sounds very much like a Brian May type of sound. Okay, so would you like to hear it? Would you like to hear it? I'm just gonna noodle a little bit through it, and then I'm gonna get to some questions. Okay, because I do want you guys to hear this thing, but this is not like the official. It's not official anything. I'm just giving you a sneak peek here, okay? So this right here is the Tube Screamer-esque side. Again, I just call it that because I don't have another name for it. Okay, so this is without it. Okay, so you hear that nice and clean, right? Here is the green side. Okay? Without. Here's with. Okay, now I'm going to switch it to the white side. Okay, now this is more aggressive. I'm having some issues with my Kemper right now. I know why. I just, yeah. Never mind me. Okay, so this is the more aggressive side now. You know? I can beat that up too. All right. This is kind of rocked out a little bit more. And I'm going to turn the tone up, brighten it up just a little bit. Okay, now check this out. Now, if I hold this pedal down, now they both come together. Whoop! They both play at the same time, and we get this really nice overdriven violin type sound. But I mean, it'll give you some feedback here, right? Oh, here we go. Hold on. Now that's not even rocked out here. There we go. And I probably just ravaged the sound system here, and Mike's probably cursing me. But there you go. There's just like, I'm going to do a bunch of videos for you guys, all right? So just hang in there with me. These are going to be available. We're going to make them first available to folks that are in UGS, because we only have 25. That's our first set. I know we're going to sell out of them like that, but there's privileges. Membership has its privileges, as they say. Okay, let's get to some questions. Oh, there was another donation I think I saw come in. Kevin, love the lessons, love the Zen. Oh, thank you, Kevin. So kind. Best teacher in the history of ever. Thank you, buddy. I always say that, right? In the history of ever. Beautiful. Thank you, buddy. So kind. All right, let's get some questions. Was that running through the Boss? No, it wasn't. It's running through my Kemper. And yeah, it's running through my Kemper right now. Was going to do that, but I will. I'll probably do some videos with it just so folks can understand what's coming from the Kemper and what's not. Now, actually, the tone that you were hearing there just now, I mean, that's my Kemper tone right now. Okay, there's not a ton of tone that we're getting from that. I mean, it's a fine sound. It's good, you know? But as far as the overdrive and what have you, that was all the pedal, okay? 8. All right, excellent. Any other things I need to tell you while I'm waiting for the first question?
The merch is coming soon.
Merch is coming. We got, oh, friends, we have some killer merch. We've been working on it. We've got t-shirts, we got bibs, we got onesies, hats, the whole enchilada. So we'll make that available shortly. If I didn't mention where you guys should go for those jam tracks, if you want to get signed up early, we're getting ready to do something bonkers with that Pro Jam Track site right now. It's just a skeleton of a site right now. We don't even have, it's just a skeleton of a site. So if you want to go there, if you want to enter in your name, that will put you on the list. And then when we go to open that up to the public, you're going to be the first ones in, okay? All right, first question coming in here. Any suggestion on a good cheap guitar to get a good Gibson type sound? Okay, Trickster's saying. Trickster, so usually, you know, when you're talking about a Gibson guitar, you're talking about, right, you're talking about 335s, you're talking about SGs, Les Pauls, Firebirds. Those all have humbucker pickups. And so really what you're going for is you're going for a humbucker sound, okay? So there's so much in regards to the sound of an instrument that people think. I mean, I'm not saying that sound doesn't come from the instrument and from the wood and from the specific pickup. It's not being a believer, it's just basic stuff. It's just, of course, the sound's coming from that. But I think people lean too much on that, and they assume that that guitar is going to, you know, the Gibson sounds a specific way. It's so specific. It does, but the amount of actual, oh, that's Gibson sound, in my opinion, is small. Now, there's people that will argue that, but they're arguing it from an ego standpoint, not from reality. So whatever. The sound you're looking for is you're looking for a humbucker sound. Humbucker. It's a big, the fatter pickup looks like a soap, right? Piece of soap, as opposed to the single coil, like on the Strats, on Fender guitars, right? On most Fender guitars. So you're looking for that humbucker sound. An Epiphone, you know, Les Paul is fine. And that will get you that sound that you're looking for. Check out my merch, or not, my kit store, kit.co/your guitar stage. It's KIT. There it is, right?
That's wrong.
Yeah, it might be. Try kit.co/your guitar.
It's kit.co.
It is, yeah, okay. Kit.co/your guitar stage. Try that. I have guitar suggestions there, okay? All right, how much guitar practice is necessary for entering the world stage? Best. Nathan, do you want to suck on stage? Because you can go on stage and completely suck and not practice much, but you're going to have to do other things to get to the stage. And we know what some of those things might be. I don't suggest doing them. But there's ways to play. So I think, Nathan, whenever I see that question, it worries me a little bit because it sounds like you're trying to get away with the least amount of practice. I could be wrong. You could be looking for what's too much practice. But I'm thinking that you're probably seeing like, what's the least amount of practice I can do? And in that case, not discouraging you, Nathan, but either dig in or don't do it. You know, if you just want to play a guitar, that's fine. But if you're talking about getting on a stage and being in front of lots of people, they have heard great artists. And if you suck, do I want to go with a sucky meal or a great meal? Do I want to listen to sucky music or great music? I don't know. It's just so hard. What a hard decision. So I'm not teasing you there. I guess what I'm trying to do is make it very clear to you that you need to practice a lot if you want people to like you and your playing. Otherwise, they're going to be like, well, that guy sucks, and I don't want to see him again. He wasted my time. Does that make sense? So practice like your life depends on it. Can you explain how playing scales and playing chords, tones, fit together? White Rabbit, that's a big, big question, and I explain that all in many, many, many videos. That can't be summed down to something very, very simple. But essentially, a key, a tonal center, has 7 notes to it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This note's a repeat of that note. It's the same note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right? And in that, you've got chords. And those chords use all those same notes. And so that's how they fit together. Okay? Now, I know that probably doesn't help you, but it's because this sort of thing doesn't come to you just in one sentence or one video or anything like that. It takes, years to get good at it, but it's still worth it. Okay. The most expensive guitar that I own, I've got a 65 Fender Strat that's all original, and that was about 15 grand, and I bought that, I don't know how long ago now, 5 years ago, something like that, 6, 7 years ago. I love it. One of my favorite guitars. Have I used the Spark? No, I haven't, but I've used the Bias software before, which is very similar. I'm sure it works on the same algorithms. I haven't used it, no. And is it worth it? That's not a question that anybody could answer for you. So I would get rid of that question because it cannot be answered accurately. Someone could lie to you. Here you go. Is the news accurate? All right? Here's the deal. If you're watching the news for information, then yes, somebody could tell you that it's worth it and you would believe it and it would be great and you would feel happy for a day until you found out that you were lied to. Otherwise, yeah, no. You're going to have to find out for yourself whether that's worth it for you, because I don't know how expensive they are, and what works for one person doesn't work for another. Okay? But in regards to the news, you know my thoughts on that. If you're watching the news to get information, I can't help you. You're on your own. What do you recommend practicing to get better at soloing and playing songs to ear? Well, those are two totally different things. I mean, they're not totally different, but they are two very big things, right? So songs by ear, watch my videos on that. Sometimes these questions, if I gave you something, I'll give you something, but I feel like there's so much more to it, okay? So like, for instance, to get started to playing by ear, you'd want to hum a melody like, You want to find that first note. Ba, 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 ba. And then you can pick out the rest of the notes. Isn't it magic? It's work. You do it by work and trial and error. Okay, so that's the way how you want to start. It's called Hum and Hunt. That's I believe it's in Unstoppable Guitar System Standard. If it's not, it's in the beginner section of UGS, the course that I'm giving you free today, right? And now as far as playing soloing, take the jam tracks that I'm giving you guys on the weekends and learn the pentatonic scale at the very least. I have videos for all these things, by the way. Search Your Guitar Sage Pentatonic. Learn the pentatonic scale, learn how to apply the pentatonic scale to that particular chord progression, okay? How do I develop the feel for chord changes? It's repetition. It's repetition, and also, you know, if you can hear, or I should say, if you will observe that a chord's minor or a chord's major or a chord's a seventh, or that it pulls a certain way, or that it gives you a certain emotion, those are all the things that will help you develop the feel. So, you know, if I'm playing a 12-bar blues progression and we hear this little thing at the end, if we hear that, my mind says, here we go, we're starting over again. Beginning. Right? I just know that because I've played it enough. Now, you may not know that at first. Why wouldn't you expect that? You'd have to expect that I would know that because I've done it. And you should expect that you wouldn't know it if you haven't done it. But once you do it, then you will know it. Does that make sense? I'm trying to make this as applicable and accessible to you as possible. It literally is at your disposal. It's right there for you. You just have to do it, okay? So doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. How do you drink hot coffee without burning your mouth? I do this. Now, this is not soup. It's actually, this is what they gave me for my to-go. And what I do is this. I do this. I go. That's what I do. And it makes it a lot cooler. And it doesn't, it's, you know, it's like you can do that and it doesn't bother anybody and people don't look at you weird or anything. Any weirder than usual. What are slash chords? So when we talk about slash chords, what we're talking about is inversions. Essentially, most of the time we're talking about inversions, but we use this colloquialism, is that the right word? A slash chord is just kind of like a word that we throw around, which means that there's a chord, but then there's a bass note that's represented for that chord that doesn't belong. Sometimes it doesn't belong to the chord. Sometimes it does belong to the chord, but it's supposed to be higher up. Okay? So for instance, if we took a B, let's take a B minor chord. Or let's take a chord that you guys know for sure. I know you know a G chord, right? So here's a G chord, right? If I take a G chord and I play it with a G in the bass, usually when we name a chord, an E chord has an E in the bass, an A chord has an A in the bass, a D chord has a D in the bass, a G chord has a G in the bass, meaning the lowest note. But we can also play a G chord, a G/B, which means now it's not a G in the bass, it's a B in the bass. Well, this is a G. We can't find a B that's any lower, so we're gonna have to find a B that's higher and not play this low G. So here's a B. It's right in there in the chord that we always play. So I'm going to play from the B down. So now my chord sounds like that instead of this. Instead of this. Okay, that's called a G/B, because the B is in the bass. So an inversion is when we play, well, that's an inversion because we're taking one of the other notes that are in the chord. A G major chord is a GBD. So if we took a B and we put it in the bass, then we have a G/B chord. If we put a D in the bass, right, then if I took I played the chord like this, now we have a G chord with a G in the bass, with a D in the bass. That'd be a G/D, okay? So that would be what's called an inversion. It's also a slash chord, but a slash chord could be something that doesn't have the actual note in the chord. Like for instance, if we took a B minor chord does not have an A in it, But I could play a B minor / A, and it would sound like this. In context, these will sound better, right? Make sense? All right. Good, good. Picking the right string for an acoustic is challenging. What is your preferred type of string? Phosphor, bronze? I like phosphor, bronze, but honestly, I don't know if I even recall trying different strings for it. So it's like they sound good. I try not to get stuck in the minutia, and I suggest you do the same thing. Be an artist, and if you're working with a particular brush, get used to that brush. Especially if you're a newbie. A lot of newbies, they say, and I'm not saying that's you, but a lot of newbies will do this. By the way, thank you so much for another donation, Joseph. Thank you so much, brother. So kind of you, bud. A lot of newbies do this. They go, they put their fingers on the guitar. Ah, man, it doesn't feel right. I need a different guitar. And they start strumming. Ah, it doesn't feel right. I need a different pick, or I need a different guitar, whatever. And they haven't worked into it yet. This is a brand new thing, right? Or they get a pedal and they don't know how to work it, and they're like, I need a different pedal. Cool your jets. Work with what you have, because a lot of times what you have is perfectly acceptable. It's just that you got to get used to it, right? So with the strings, unless you're some mega pro and you know you have such a discerning ear that phosphor bronze is not going to do it for you and you need some other sort of something, then go with that, okay? But the reason I tell you this, Joseph, is that, is to keep you out of the weeds. You ever heard of that expression? Keep you out of the weeds. If you're too much in your head, if you're in your head, you're dead, as Tony Robbins says. So get out of your head, get in your heart and feel and listen and enjoy and be part of the music. And then after some playing, if you're like, I don't really like the sound of my acoustic, I wonder if changing strings would do anything. And then you go research it, and you find some videos where people have taken the same guitar and putting on different strings. If you can hear a massive difference, then you might go, hey, I think that'll help with my guitar. Otherwise, you're just throwing darts, right? You're just throwing darts and hoping that something comes up right. Addie, what's up? I miss live lessons, questions, and call and response from Guy, Addie's dad. Oh, thanks so much, Addie's dad. All right, thank you so much, Guy. Beautiful. Well, that's why I'm here. And this weekend, 4 hours. And Mike, we got UGS coming up too, don't we?
It's coming up.
Do you know what day that is?
Yeah, it is the week after.
The 30th, right? Yeah.
The 30th.
Okay, here's the deal. So we're live today for an hour. We're live for 4 hours on Saturday. We're live for 3 hours on the 30th for UGS. For UGS folks, Unstoppable Guitar System folks. So if you're thinking about getting in the program, which by the way, we're gonna have a mega deal for you as we do on occasion this Saturday. If you want to get in and join me for 3 additional hours of live, much smaller classes, do that. That'll be on the 30th. That's for UGS folks, okay? Aight, good. Do I have a paperback version of your book rather than ebook? Yes, Sonny, if you go to your browser and you search Eric Andreas Amazon, and then you'll see all my books there. Yeah. Aight, good. Yeah, can I tell you something I don't like? I don't like that YouTube zips forward and I miss all my questions here. I don't like that. I just sent free to the phone number. Nothing happened. Why? Did you send it to the right phone number? Here's the phone number, 833-744-0154. 833-744-0154. Just type in FREE, and send that to me, okay? That should get the ball rolling. If it doesn't, then it's probably something on your side, because we definitely have thousands of folks that have signed up for that already. I wouldn't know what it is on your phone in that case. I'm sorry. Is UGS a branching style course? Yes. It takes you through in a methodical manner. Yes. Or is it kind of a la carte lesson chunks? Phil, I've gotten a lot of sort of randoms and basics. Kevin, it branches out. So there's a beginner section, intermediate section, advanced section, and each one of those are broken down, theory, technique, chords, scales, et cetera, each one of those, and they all grow. So you start in the beginning and you gravitate. You can jump to other lessons and you might not get lost, but there's obviously a progression. And just like when you're learning math, you learn addition, subtraction, multiplication, division before you go into algebra, and then algebra before calculus, et cetera, okay? So it's definitely an order. But you could jump around, but just, All right. Ilna Kajiz. What's up, brother? What's up, my friend? What's the best sounding acoustic guitar shape in your opinion? This would be one of those things that I don't have a strong opinion about. Again, it's minutia that I think you don't need to get involved in. It's just different. There is no best. There's no best. Get rid of those words. They don't exist. You've been brainwashed. We've been brainwashed to think there's best. There can be what's best for you at a certain moment, but there's no best. What was a best guitar for me is not a best guitar for me today. And it was only a best guitar for me at that time. Things change. You know what I'm saying? Calm down, dude. You're fangirling. What's the best all-around acoustic guitar shape? Yeah, okay. Not square. No best guitar case. It's just what's best for you. Do you like a bag? Do you want it, you can spend $500, $1,000 on these massive flight cases. That's best if you want to run it over with a bulldozer. It's not very convenient if you want to sling it on your back or fit it in your car. So you got to get more specific, right? I'm not picking on you guys. I'm trying to get you guys to think specifically. If you stick around with me long enough, I promise you're going to start asking the right questions that are going to get you to the place that you want to get to much quicker, okay? Mainstream media, no integrity. It's true. It's comical at this point. It's so comical. I don't know who's watching anymore. Not even my mom. And my mom used to keep it on 24/7, and she would record it and then play it over and over and over again. She doesn't even watch the news anymore. It's dead. Can you show us some of the stuff you're doing when jamming to the reggae track you posted recently? Yeah, sure. So let me. So let's do like a little. Okay, so this little bit here is in the key of A minor. And so what I would do is I would play A minor, or I'd play A minor pentatonic, or I'd play A minor blues. Usually for these jam tracks that I'm providing for you guys on the weekends, you'll see the chords going by. Friends, if you haven't seen this already, you got to, because I give these to you guys so you can do this, so you can start practicing all this stuff that I'm showing you. Take advantage of it, okay? Now, so I'm going to use the pentatonic, the A minor pentatonic or A minor blues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dance around it. This is what you want to do too. It will not sound good at first. It won't. Just like a child who's learning to speak, why would you expect them to sound like Abraham Lincoln during the Gettysburg Address, right? You wouldn't. Abraham Lincoln wouldn't have sounded like that when he was a baby. So you've got to practice, right? It's not going to sound good at first, but that's all these bits that I'm giving you in these videos. Those are the things that get you there, okay? So I'm going to take the pentatonic, basic pentatonic or basic blues, right? And I'm going to... You know, and I'm kind of stretching out into some other places here and what have you, but you know, that A, there it is. There it is. All those A's, you know, those are places that I kind of have in my mind. I say kind of. They're in my mind. They're in my brain because I've practiced in them enough. And all the stuff that I give you about the springboards and the 1-4-5, that's all the stuff that's going to reveal all this to you. So those are good notes to rely on, to jump back to, etc. Okay? So that's what you want to do. But it doesn't happen at first. You've got to work with it. It's like whittling or getting good at anything. It just takes time, right? All right, I only know the easy pentatonic, and that's okay. It's like whatever it takes. Get good at that, okay? Just like I say all the time, a child doesn't know lofty words and doesn't need to know lofty words. I mean, when my kid's talking, I sit there and I look at him, and I just look at his eyes and the way he lights up and everything. He's not saying, I mean, he's talking about toys and his imagination and his dreams and stuff, and it's fascinating. I just love him. So, again, you can play like this. Say something intelligent. It doesn't have to be fancy, just say something intelligent. And you're not going to say something intelligent at first. It's going to be weird. It's going to come out goofy. But if you just stop there, then everything you say will be goofy. It's not like magic happens overnight. You have to practice, and then you find out what not to say, and then you start saying the things that do sound better because you're like, nope, that's the ticket. That's the note to land on. Okay? You got to do it. You got to practice, otherwise it just doesn't happen, you know? Okay, I have a spark. If you like practicing by yourself, it's great. I'm not planning on playing in a band, though, so each to his or her own. Yeah, yep, so it might be a good one for that. How can I figure out what key best fits my voice? That's a great question. Let's talk about it. So if I go, you know, if I take a song, let's say it's, I don't know, it doesn't matter. I'm singing along, right? And I'm like, hey, stop loving her today. They placed a wreath upon his door. Little George Jones, right? And soon they'll carry him away. They stopped loving her today, right? If that's not the key for me, then maybe I would say, okay, well, I'd like to sing a little bit higher, so maybe I'll go up a half step. He stopped loving her today. I want to go higher. He stopped loving her today. Right? They placed a wreath upon his door. That's pretty high for me. And soon they'll carry him away. He stopped loving her today. So what you do is you move the capo around, you sing through the part that's hard for you, and you make sure that it's in the right key for you. If it's not, then go down, and if it needs more juice, it needs more of your, right? Then pull it up. So you do it until it's comfortable. It's one of the easiest things you can do. You move the capo around, you know, and it's different. I hear people say, the key of G is the right key for me. And it's like, it depends on the song, because the key of G can go up into the stratosphere. And then you could say the key of F, or the key of A doesn't go past a certain note where you could sing it perfectly fine. So I hear people say that sometimes, this is my key. I know that's my key. And it's like, it doesn't really work like that. It can if it stays in a specific range, but just in and of itself, it doesn't really work like that. Okay? Okay. Okay, so enharmonics. So, you know, we're talking about sharps and flats. They're just names. So like when we have A, okay, so like all the piano keys, there's white keys and there's black keys. The whites are the naturals, the blacks are the enharmonics or the what we call accidentals, the sharps and the flats. Okay? Also, by the way, if you just play just the black notes, it's also the pentatonic scale. FYI. So essentially they're just names, and a lot of times these names, they freak people out because they think, oh, it means something. Oh, B sharp, B flat, C sharp, B flat, whatever. Like, ooh, I don't know what that means. It's scary. It's not. It's just a name. We could have named it, we could have named A, and B flat could have been B, and B would have been C, and C would have been D, and so on down the line. We could have done that. It doesn't matter. Don't get stuck in that minutia. It's just names. Okay, that's all it is. And I teach that in the free course. So I suggest you take advantage of that. YourGuitarStage.com/30. Take advantage of that course, friends, because I go over all that stuff with you. Okay. What advice would you give for a fingerstyle guitar player? Learn lots of fingerstyle songs. Learn basic fingerstyle technique. Go through all my exercises. I have lots of these exercises for you in PDF format, step by step, how to do all that stuff. That's in the free course that I'm giving you today. I call it the free course. It's UGS Standard, Unstoppable Guitar System Standard, YourGuitarStage.com/30. The link for that's below. Emmy will drop it in there, I'm sure. Go through that first, okay? There is no skipping all the important stuff and then going straight into the stuff you want to do. It's you got to learn it, right?
And watch the video tomorrow.
And watch the video tomorrow. Thank you, Mike. Yes, watch the video tomorrow. We're dropping a finger picking lesson tomorrow. Okay? Thank you, Mike. Oh, good. Louisiana. Finally learned the 1-3-5. It's so awesome. Yeah, it is. Is the root note of a chord always the highest note? Kevin, the root note of the chord is usually the lowest note. So for instance, if we have a G chord, the lowest note is that right there. It's a G. If it's a C chord, the C is the lowest note. If it's an E chord, the E is the lowest note. If it's a D chord, the D chord is the lowest note. So that's usually, but not always. Okay, again, when you're talking about an inversion, if it's a G/B, then the B is the lowest note. All right, make sure you're putting a question mark behind everything as well, my friends.
By the way, probably a couple more.
Oh yeah, we're close to the hour mark, or we're past the hour mark, aren't we? Okay, yep. We're gonna head out. We're gonna do 2 more questions here, friends. Okay. If you want more from me, if you want more of this live stuff, friends, 4 hours. I'm gonna be with you 4 hours this Saturday. Instead of going camping with my family, which I'll be doing afterwards, by the way, but instead of going camping with my family, and they really wanted to go, I'm gonna be spending time with you guys. Mike is too. All right. Aren't you, Mike?
I suppose.
All right, so Mike will be here, and Emmy will be here, and Cole will be here. We're all going to be here on Saturday for you guys. If you guys don't show up, then I guess we're just showing up here and leaving our families at home without, for no reason. Please show up. We got lots of stuff, over $3,500 worth of giveaways. I'm going to be live with you for 4 hours. 3 hours of those, I'll be getting your questions in real time. If you didn't get your question answered today, I'm doing 2 more questions, then join me. YourGuitarStage.com/dot, okay? Let's do 2 more of these. How to apply a diminished chord into progressions like 1-4-5? Is it possible? Thanks for streaming. It can be used as an in-between chord. So like if we're going in between a major 1 and a 2 minor. So doing something like this. That's a major 1. That's a 2 flat diminished. There's a 2 minor 7. And there's a 5 dominant. Okay, there you go. And I use that one a lot. Let's see, I've got another song. So this is 6 minor. 5, 1. Let's see, that's it doesn't matter, does it? Sure it does. Okay, so let me figure this out here real quick. The in between the 5 chord and the 6 minor. So if you have a major chord and you're going to a minor chord, you can use it there. Like I just did, right? But this is in a different key. Diminished. So yeah, you can work them in there, and they sound really cool when you do. Picks from your kit list are awesome. Finally found the right pick. Right? I love them. I know. Use them all the time. Here's one right here. These are great. I mean, massive grip on them. If I made a pick, it would be that right there. I love those. At least for acoustic. Now, for electric, I use these Dunlop Ultex, Ultex. I think I have those in the store as well. I friggin' love those picks. I love them, love them, love them. They work for me, you know. Okay, last one. What is the flat used for when playing? Are they spicy? I like that. So, flat, again, is just a name. It depends. There's so much to that question that other things that would have to be explained. So if you're talking about a flat 5, then yeah, that's spicy. You can add that to your blues and it's going to sound really cool. But it may not be a flat, it may be a natural note. Okay? Again, if that goes over your head, you don't have the basics down. You got to have the basics down. That's why I give you this course for absolutely free. Or I could charge you. A lot of people mentally, if you charge them for something, they're like, ooh, it's worth something. So if you prefer to pay for it, then you either donate to me now or just I can make it another page for you where you pay for it, or you can get it for free, okay? YourGuitarStage.com/30. Get that, okay? All right, my friends, I am out of here until we're dropping videos all week, but I'll be here on Saturday. Join that right now, friends. The giveaway, the live broadcast, I'm going to be teaching you all my hacks, YourGuitarStage.com/dot, because I'll be giving this beauty away along with this beauty. So some winner is going to get that acoustic guitar, that Epiphone PR150, and a lifetime membership to UGS. And the grand prize winner is going to win this Boss Katana 50 and this Epiphone Dot and a lifetime membership to the Unstoppable Guitar System. What? And we'll be giving away several ebook bundles. We'll be giving away
More memberships.
More memberships to the Unstoppable Guitar System. And I'm going to throw in a surprise there as well. We have merch and we've got pedals. So I don't know. I haven't decided anything yet, but let your minds wander, okay? Because some stuff's going to go down on Saturday. And if you're not here and if you're not part of it, then you are square, okay? Well, you're not here. You're just not going to enjoy it, okay? You're not going to get all the good stuff. You got to be there. All right, friends, I'm out of here. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, Emmy. I will talk to you guys. Thank you so much for the great questions. I will see you on Saturday.